what the weekend papers have for us. I'm going to be starting with the Daily Graphic weekend special. Summer text feature. Wake up, call for Kotoko and Hearts. And also updates snitch records with right beneficiaries. Law lecturer advises contributors. And on the back page, we have some sport, African Athletics Championship, Ghana's last hope for Paris 2024 Olympic slots. And yeah, that's what we have on the front page and the back page of the Daily Graphic Weekend Special.
Right, I have with me the Daily Guide, Saturday, June 22nd, 2024. Affirmative Action Bill passes a second parliament hurdle. Baumia will be next president. Government international bondholders reach $13 billion debt agreement. Government releases 80 million Ghana cedis to WAEC. And also FDA deploys online food vendors surveillance system.
All right, so the front page of the Mirror, we have Peace Andor showcases Africa with shoes at World Championship. And we also have over 1,000 locked up in child marriages in Nkwanta North. Schools breeding grounds for drug abuse, and that's by NACOC. Yeah.
Right, on the Spectator newspaper, leverage Ghanaian hospitality to boost tourism. And this is by Miss Yuanda. Faith Jakpasu's groundbreaking innovations transforming education, providing comfort to learners. And it has a beautiful picture of her right there on the front page of the Spectator. Check your land title registration, and that story can be seen on page 19 to 21. And also the Sikaman Palaver is on the front page of the Spectator as well. Don't enroll children with special needs in regular schools. It affects their mental development. That's it for the Spectator newspaper. And Chris, quickly, before we go on to the online stories, I'm back to the Daily Guide or the center spread, the News One entertainment side. Let me just quickly run us through the stories making headlines there. Peter Sedufia criticizes Mahama's Film Village proposal. Travis Scott arrested for disorderly intoxication, as well as Ages Needy Project launches Inspire initiative, and some fashion stories there. Fashion extravaganza at EMI Africa Expo, and Davido drags baby mama to court.
All right. Okay, so let's get to the online stories before we check out what actually hits us on any of the stories. GhanaWeekend.com. If you want to join us, you can come along with us. All right. We have here, I wanted to exert authority. Hammer on why he did not charge artists. Gambo set to release new EP, 1MB, featuring America's Jim Jones, Edem, and EL.
Right, City Business Festival value, good image central for creative industry, and that's by Ibrahim Mahama. City Business Festival, explore untapped opportunities for growth. Juliet Asante urges creatives. Still on some City Business Festival stories, being creative is not just about creating, it's also about connecting. Appeal court to creatives. City Business Festival, again, creative industry can boost economy if supported. Chief Momin says that this is the reason we are losing some old songs, Joe Metal, on Team Eternity's copyright case.
All right, so Wama Fest Music Industry Conference held in Accra. West Africa Music and Arts Festival officially launched. And I laugh when I hear artists say my manager is chopping my money, and that's by Richie Mensah. I think that's the Links boss. And also City Business Festival, lack of unity stifles growth in Ghana's music industry, by Richie Mensah again. All right, so what hits you in any of the stories?
It's quite interesting. Probably the fashion story, the EMI Africa, as well as the controversial story from Davido dragging his baby mama to court. So let me just take the first one, which will be the EMI Africa story. Fashion extravaganza at EMI Africa Expo. A three-day event organized by Carbon AV dubbed the EMI Africa received significant support from businesses and the investment community. The expo served as a platform for businesses, particularly service providers, to engage with potential clients. In addition to the music performances, the event featured an inspiring greatness forum, an art and culture exhibition, and a fitness competition. However, the fashion extravaganza, which showcased artistic African fashion brands from selected designers across the continent, was the standout feature of the expo. The evening, which was sponsored by Udine, saw a display of designs by notable fashion designers. Coco presented a sustainability-driven, bold Afrocentric lifestyle on the runway, earning admiration from the audience. Symmetry Sport also received applause for its sporting outfits showcased during the fashion show. Detail Africa and a renowned Nigerian-made leather goods brand was impressed with the display of their design. So the story goes on and on and on. And I love that because it's interesting how Ghana, or should I say the industry, is embracing creatives and fashion as a whole. Because, you know, we've been having conversations about the creative industry and the fact that when we talk about creatives, people are looking at, it's either movies or, I mean, we in the media and probably sometimes the artist, but now a lot of light is being thrown on the other aspects of creatives. I was at the EMI Africa Expo and it was such a beautiful experience seeing all the businesses display their goods and the fashion. It was great to have seen that Ghanaian brands are embracing fashion and are going out of their way to do well. So kudos to all the organizers as well as the exhibitors.
All right, so I have here on the mirror, over 1,000 locked up in child marriages in Nkwanta North. I think this is a very serious issue that we need to talk about. It's not just detrimental to the children, but it's also detrimental to community. But let's check out what some of the, you know, paragraphs are saying here. Child marriage for both boys and girls persists in Nkwanta North and other parts of the Oti region, despite the existence of laws and policies framework to eliminate it. At 2023 Ghana Statistical Service reports revealed that out of 3,728 recorded cases of child marriage, that is from 12 years old to 17 years, across the 8 districts in the region, a third of the cases, well, that's 1,014 of them, were from Nkwanta North District. This represents 27.3% of the total child marriage cases in the region, while the Guan District had the lowest cases of 79 cases, representing 2.1%. The report further showed that out of the 1,014 children who were involved in early child marriage, 43% were boys and 57% girls. The head of gender department of the Oti Regional Coordinating Council, Esther Hammond, explained to the Mirror that while some of the child marriages involve adult men and underage girls, there were other cases where boys were married to girls or in cohabitation. And it goes on and on and on. It's on page 3 if you want to check it out. This is actually very problematic.
Quite alarming, yeah.
It's problematic because people need to understand that a child cannot consent to marriage. And when I mean a child, like you're not yet 18, you are not yet on that age of consent. So if a child cannot consent to marriage, it is rape. Yes, it is statutory rape because the child cannot say, yes, I want to marry you. So the man or the adult man that decides to marry that young girl from 12 years to 17 years should actually be facing the law. And I like the fact that, you know, they have been locked up for that. Because at the end of the day, they think children can make these decisions. But at the end of the day, children do not make these decisions. Apart from it being rape, you are inflicting harm to the child because she's not yet ready. Yeah. Her body is not yet ready for all that whole process of sex, childbirth, and sometimes the girls don't even want to do this. They force themselves on them apart from the statutory rape. They actually physically do things to them. So a child that cannot, you know, even do things, at 12 years, you can't even take care of your period.
I think that parents should also do better because if a child cannot consent, who collects the bride price on behalf of the children? It's the parents that do that. I mean, why would you want to give your 12-year-old child out for marriage? They should be in school.
Yes.
They should be doing something. If they don't want to go to school, they should learn a skill to better their future. Yeah. Why are you giving 12-year-old children out for marriages?
And you know what surprises me is the fact that one would think that because when they hear this kind of issue, the fact that people will say, oh, it's girls' problem. You understand? No. You understand? But at the end of the day, we also have a boys' problem going on here. Exactly. Young boys getting married at that age. So I foresee this as, you know, you are now a man. Go and get married.
They can't even take
you
care of
understand?
themselves.
You are now a man, so you have to fend for yourself. And maybe when that little boy starts fending for himself, that's when you hear them say, oh, you have to get married at 12 to 17. So I'm looking at the boys like probably 16 to 17 are getting married at that age. But obviously, girls are always the one in that range of 12 to 15 getting married. But the 17 and 16, I think, I would say the boys, but this needs to actually be talked about. I like the fact we're talking about it. Parents need more education in this. And I think this is also an issue of poverty. This is a serious issue of poverty. Something needs to happen. People need to talk about it. It's a serious issue. It's a serious issue. I mean, this week we celebrated the week of the African child. That was on I think that was last week, Tuesday was the week of the African child. And these are some of the issues that disturbs and interrupts the African child education. So like we asked that day, if you have any way you can actually help someone out there in a village somewhere in your area, please try and help. I'm not even going to lie to you. In my area, I've seen children as young as 13 have babies.
Oh yes, I grew up seeing that because
I
I
was
grew up in
shocked.
a certain community where if at a certain age you don't have a child, they are rubbing it in your face. Like, your mates are having children, what are you doing? And I'm like, this is wrong. They seek priding. I mean, I have a child, I've had an outdooring, I've had a baby christening, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing to our society?
I think it's
and
the
these are
parents.
the same people that we are expecting to become the future leaders. When others are striving for better education, others are striving for better lifestyles, bettering their children's development, and we are pushing them into child marriages. This is wrong. This is wrong. We can't continue like this.
Something needs to be done about
there needs to be a serious sensitization on
Not
this
even
whole
just
thing.
about. I know poverty cannot be eradicated completely. But something needs to be done, really. Something needs to be done. But anyway, thank you to each and every one of you for joining us on the headlines this morning.